And welcome back to the channel. And today I'll be continuing What If Naruto Was Raised by Jiraiya and Tsunade. But before we get into that, I would please like to remind you all to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you want to. That's up to you, but that like will support and help get my content further out there. I am kind of working on it, but that's not the point. Let's get into the video. So we open this part with like uh Karin being able, like, Karin is hearing people screaming somewhat outside their house. So she goes to look, like, she opens the door and she sees that it's Naruto, Jiraiya and Tsunade. And it looks like they're trying to, like, they're holding Naruto, like, stopping him from running off. So when they get in the house, Karin asks what the problem is, just to be curious. She lived with these guys. So when she asks this, Naruto kind of like just shrugs her off, like not even paying attention to her. And like, Tsunade try to tell her, like, Sasuke is missing and Naruto wants to go find him, but he can't because we won't let him. And Naruto was like, yeah, it's because it's like y'all just don't care about the smaller shinobis, And Naruto, like, Jiraiya tells Naruto that he knows it's not the reason why they can't send out a shinobi force to bring back one kid when they're currently, like, on the brink of war with every other village. And Naruto just looks at him like, that's like, those are just excuses. And he goes in his room and he shuts his door and they don't hear anything from Naruto for a while. So Jiraiya, they believe. So Jiraiya opens Naruto's door to, like, tell him that dinner's ready. And when he opens the door, he sees that Naruto's gone. So he activates Sage Mode to see if Naruto is, like, in the area, which immediately, like, lets Tsunade know that Naruto's not in his room. So she instantly starts getting angry. And, like, when Jiraiya comes back, like, out into the rest of the house, he tells Tsunade that they gotta go look for Naruto. And now they have to send a shinobi force. So, like, they go tell the third. And the third, realizing, like, okay, it's not good, he mobilizes, like, this pretty decent force to go retrieve Naruto. So now, like, the village went from dark to almost lit up due to everybody looking for Naruto. And Naruto running to try to see if he can find Sasuke. He sees, like, all these people, not people, but, like, he hears all the commotion going on in the village. And like, Naruto's thinking about it and he's like, that's kind of crazy how they could they could send all these people out for me, but not send all these people out for Sasuke. And Naruto, as he's thinking this, he's not thinking of why they did it. So when Naruto actually does end up catching up to Sasuke, I'm gonna say he actually does, they end up, like, talking, but like, the way they talk, because Sasuke didn't leave. Really, he didn't feel like they left on bad terms. Like, he left on bad terms with Naruto, so he didn't really care. So he's talking to Naruto, and when Naruto starts talking about him going back to the village, he just looks at Naruto and tells him no. And Naruto's like, what do you mean? Like, I came to get you from these guys. I came to save you. And Naruto, like, as he's saying this, he realizes that, like, Sasuke isn't tied up. He's not in the bag. He went with these guys. Like, he willingly did this. And, like, Sasuke tells him, like, you're gonna get strong. I'm gonna get strong. And we can see who's the strongest. Until then, I'm gonna go with them. And before Naruto could say anything, he, like, feels like this thing hit the back of his neck, and then he passes out. And when they find him, Jiraiya and Tsunade and, like, the rest of the shinobi are, like, around the area, like, basically searching to see if they can find who did it. So when Naruto, like, actually gains full consciousness back, he's still running around looking for Sasuke, but, like, well, he's attempting to. I should say he's attempting to, because right now he's being held by shinobi forces from the Leaf Village because he ran off. So when word gets back to the Leaf Village that they caught Naruto, Hiruzen tells, like, some Anbu members that he's finna meet Naruto on the way back to the village. So they start getting like a small little unit together to escort Hiruzen. And like when they start like headed toward Naruto, when they get to Naruto, like to the halfway point where they meet up with Naruto, like Naruto can tell this isn't good, because why would Hiruzen leave the office to just come talk to him? So Hiruzen asked like everybody to like move around like this, like let me have this man-to-man talk with Naruto, because clearly there's some parts of the Shinobi world that he doesn't understand. And Jiraiya like tries to tell him like, you know, Hiruzen, you could be strict sometimes. And Hiruzen turns and looks at Jiraiya and tells him like, I wasn't talking to you. So Jiraiya, you know, he kind of, you know, Tsunade kind of pulls him off to the side. So Hiruzen starts telling Naruto that, you know, he can't go running off like that, regardless of if he wants to go find his friends or not. And Naruto, he's mad and he's trying to find out why he can't. And Hiruzen, he gets a little frustrated and he's like, I don't know, Naruto. Maybe it's because you're the biggest weapon we have. And Naruto was like, what do you mean? And Naruto, like, cause he never really thought of the Nine Tails like that. He always thought of the Nine Tails as more like a burden, not like a weapon. Like, he just had to keep his composure. So, like, Hiruzen starts telling him, like, the Nine Tails is somewhat of a weapon. And you running away like that, if some people get control of you, that's it. You're you're a part of something way bigger, and you were running off to go find people that might not even get as big as you are. And like Naruto was like, wait, so you telling me you think Sasuke is weak? And Naruto, well, Hiruzen says like, no, I don't think Sasuke is weak. But when it comes down to it, if you were fully powered up and Sasuke was fully powered up, you would probably win. Well, if you were fully powered up right now, I'm gonna say that. Like, if Naruto went full Nine Tails, like how he was fighting when he was fighting Pain or Orochimaru, he would win that fight. So, like, Naruto tells Hiruzen that, like, he doesn't care. This isn't gonna stop him from looking for Sasuke. And Hiruzen tells him, like, yeah, I know they can't, but I can. And he's like, you know, Naruto looks at him, he's like, no, you can't. You can't stop me from looking for for Sasuke. And Hiruzen tells him, like, he takes off his headband, like he takes Naruto's headband off his head, and he's like, what are you doing? And Naruto, like, he's looking at him, he's like, what are you doing? And Hiruzen tells him, until you can get your act together, I don't want you going on any missions, none of that. Either, you know, you get your act together, you can't be a shinobi. And like Hiruzen and his Anbu members, like, they leave, and Jiraiya comes back and he sees that Naruto doesn't have a headband, and like he stops and he's like, please tell me he did not just. And Naruto like looks up and he's like, not a shinobi anymore. And Hiruzen, like, he tells one of the Anbu members to like keep an eye on Naruto, like, you know, even more than the, you know, the regular ones that would normally watch him. He wants one of his people on it too. So like the Anbu member says, yeah, he disappears. And Jiraiya tells Tsunade and Naruto that he's gonna go talk to Hiruzen. And Tsunade tells him, like, no, I have a better idea. And like Tsunade tells Naruto, like, what if we could make you, like, basically what he said, Naruto, was that you have to prove yourself or get some sense. Or you could just get strong enough to the point where they can't ignore you. And Jiraiya was like, Tsunade, what are you talking about? Are you talking about going against the Leaf Village? And Tsunade tells him, like, no, not necessarily. We're going against their orders, not the Leaf Village itself. He said Naruto couldn't be out on missions. It said nothing about us training him and sending him and taking him on assignments with us. They're different. They're special assignments. And Jiraiya was like, although that may be true, don't you think taking Naruto on assignments with us is a little, like, you know? And Tsunade was like, shrugs her shoulders, and she was like, well, I take Karin, and she seems to be doing all right. And Jiraiya was like, you take who? And like Tsunade was like, I thought you were aware of that. I promise you, I swear I told you this. And Naruto was like, anything at this point to become a shinobi again. And Jiraiya was like, you know, you don't have to keep that attitude. And Naruto was like, oh, I know eventually that I won't have this, but at the same time, there are so many things going on, and I know if I get too emotional, I could, you know. So for right now, just gonna be like this. And Jiraiya kind of like, he doesn't approve of what Hiruzen did, so he's still going to go talk to Hiruzen. So when when everybody gets back to the Leaf Village and Jiraiya goes to talk to Hiruzen, he gets to the Hokage's office, and Hiruzen tells him, like, I'm not, like, giving Naruto back his headband. And Jiraiya tells him, like, why not? He worked hard for that headband. He's as skilled as any other random shinobi out here on walking these halls. And Hiruzen tells him, like, the difference between those shinobi and Naruto is that Naruto, by himself, single-handedly, can destroy entire villages. Naruto is also the same person that refuses to follow orders. And like Jiraiya hearing this, he's like, right before he could say something, Danzo walks into the room and like tells him, you know, they was planning on, quote unquote, getting rid of Naruto. And Jiraiya looks at Danzo and was like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, not necessarily kill him, but we were working on a technique to erase his memories. Basically giving us a fresh slate, a new soldier. And Jiraiya tells him, like, yo, just give me a little bit of time, and if that time's up, y'all just gonna have to fight him too. And Hiruzen tells him, you know, you got, I'm gonna give you 6 months to turn Naruto around. And within those 6 months, Naruto needs to be the best, if not, he needs to be the best at following orders, really, really strong and able to handle himself. And Jiraiya accepts these terms and he leaves, and Hiruzen looks at Danzo and tells him, like, you know, until these 6 months are up, you aren't to make any advancements on Naruto, whether that be to make him angry, to convince him that you have power for him, or convince him that you can get his headband back for him. If you touch Naruto, he will die. I will personally see to your execution. And Danzo, like, he takes a step back and he's like, well, who is this? And he's like, okay. And he walks out the room. And Danzo, he didn't appreciate how, you know, he was just talked to. So he tell one of his honorable Black House members, you know, go visit Naruto's house. And this is where I'm gonna end this part off. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like. If y'all enjoy my content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace.